Good afternoon, everyone. This is Hamilton Rodriguez here with the Outsiders. We're tuning in with a special guest here, Amilton BUMBYA DoSouto. BUMBYA DoSouto. Just make sure he's on the screen here. Is he on?
I can definitely hear an echo.
Hold on. Let's get him on the screen here. He's coming in from remote.
Man.
BUMBYA?
I'm here. Give me a second.
Yeah. So we have Tony here on the show here today. And we're here going to talking about Amilton. Get him in on the screen. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
All right. Welcome. We're back on track here. Welcome, everyone. This is Hamilton Rodriguez from the Outsiders. Would like to welcome a great individual in the community of Boston. I would consider him a historian, someone that we all could look up to and learn from his past, and someone that has turned his life around, wrote several books. He's a book writer, and I had this big interest on bringing him here on the show. And we also have Tony Barboza here. Tony, say hello to the crowd here. And Tony Barboza from TB Media. He's sponsoring the show today. And we're here. I brought these two gentlemen here together to see if we can have an interesting conversation. And we're going to talk about specifically Amilton BUMBYA DoSouto's past and his present and what he has planned for the community and the people of Boston and beyond. So I'm going to pass the baton over to Tony Barboza, and he's going to take lead on this podcast today.
Hamilton, man, I appreciate you having me and Milton. I said, when I first called and I said, hey, you got to have Milton on the show. First thing I said is, I got to be there for that interview. So I appreciate you letting me sponsor the show. We got Milton on it, so I know it's going to be a good one. So
hold on a second. If people want to call in, they can dial the number that's on the top of the screen there.
Go to
339-235-6774. 339-235-6774. Please feel free to call in, voice an opinion, ask a question, or say whatever you want to say. This is an open game for everyone. All right?
So if you guys don't mind, since my little brother, he's already on the phone.
Okay.
I would like to call in on his beat so he can say a few words.
Bring
Absolutely.
him in. Bring him in. All right. Hello?
Yeah.
Yes.
Hello.
You're on the show, sir. How you doing?
I'm all right. How you doing?
We're all right. Welcome.
Don't get nervous now. By the way, that's my I refer to him as my little brother. That's Odir Powerful Fernandez.
Okay.
For those that don't
Welcome
know.
to the show, sir.
welcome.
Well, I appreciate you inviting me and having me.
All right. So Tony from TB Media is controlling this this podcast today. And Tony, go right ahead.
Hey, I'm honored to even have P-Dub on the show. Yo, Milton, this is gonna be a good one. Listen, I really want Milton to go ahead and kind of let us know. Like you got Power Ranger on the phone. This is crazy. Go ahead, bro. Do your thing.
So basically, anytime I do anything like interview wise or anything, I always try to, because it's a collaborative effort whenever I'm doing anything. At times when I tell stories, I might come in here and there, but it's we. So when I say we, me and my little brother Odir specifically. So he's the one that got me on the DoSouto train, and he was one of the founding members. So I just wanted him, to come on this platform because why not support our own? You know, that's why I really wanted to come on Hamilton's platform, because it's like, let's start with our own. In the city of Boston, we got to change the culture a little. We don't support each other. So when I knew I was going to do this interview, the first person I wanted was my little brother to call in, just so y'all can hear it from his voice. You know, I've done other interviews and we've had other members of Tudo Junto speak, but I wanted my brother to, you know, to not be so nervous and shy and just get out there and say a few words. So if you don't mind, bro, just tell them briefly a little bit about yourself and whatever you want to share, and basically what Tudo Junto means to you.
Well, my name is Odair, and I appreciate being able to be on this show. A little bit about myself. I'm 42 years old, and I've been incarcerated for the last 23 years, since I was 19 years old. I was born in Cape Verde, and I came to America when I was 11. My mother brought us here like she was just in search of a better life. Um, as a young man, I found myself growing up in a community where violence, poverty, and other factors was, things was happening around me that was outside of my control. And, that led me to finding myself where I'm sitting at today, making bad decisions and choices. Um, um, left, left me sitting in a place that no young person should be. And one thing, when I think about Todo Junto and what it means to me, I just think about what it would look like to have a unified community. For the last 30 years, like, I think it's a tragedy what's happening in our community, like the devastation, the losses, the harm. And I just think about what we can do when we decide to come together, and what that will look like, and work together to help repair the relationships, heal the harm, and make a difference, because there's a whole young generation behind us that's going to be left to deal with a lot of that trauma, a lot of that harm on their own. And I feel like we can get a jump on that and start doing that work, ourselves. And I feel like the obligation is on us. I think, for me, when I think about the people that's closest to the harm, should be closer to their own. And there's no other way for me to think about that. So the junta means everything to me, because I would love nothing than to see our community here united. It's so much that we destroyed and lost as a culture when I think about everything that, I I could possibly think about in this world. Like, so I just want to, this is just our way of giving back. This is our way of just working together. And it started with men down here deciding to put our differences to the side and say, enough is enough. Let's make some changes. We're committed. Let's be serious. And I definitely got to thank Milton and everybody on the streets, man, who made that possible, who made that vision and that dream come true. So, peace.
At some point, positivity has to be what wins, right? I feel like in life we all go through like a lot of things, and some more than others. And I feel like you got to learn from it somehow. It could be a struggle, it's a battle, but I feel like if we all could just get together and have a good community better than before, I feel like a lot of good things can come for us, for real.
It's a good opportunity for Cape Verdeans. It's a good opportunity for us. So we just want to capitalize off of it. We're aware of the harm that was caused. That's why we even discussed it, like the story with Boston Globe, if it makes sense. We just wanted to, in a sense, tell our stories, not to glorify, but in a way to help the ones that are coming up behind us. Especially me, I take my son with me everywhere. I play no games. So, and I credit my little brother Powerful for helping me along the way. Like he changed me. That's why I was like, yo, I'll help y'all whatever you guys need. So,
Tony, I always tell Milton, like we've been through a lot. You know, a lot of families in our community been through a lot. But like we Milton always say, no more funerals. And for me, like I'm sitting in a place that I don't want to see nobody yet. Like prison is not a good place to be in. And why does it take for us to come to prison to realize that, we have value, we mattered, and we can do great things in this world? Like,
Interesting. Quick question to Milton. Can you talk a little bit about what have you been doing lately, and briefly give us a synopsis about the two books that you have. One being Young Outlaws, that's here sitting on front of the desk here where Tony's sitting. Give us a brief synopsis about the book and the other book that you wrote. Talk a little bit about this stuff.
So those books came about because of my little brother. A few years ago, he was just like, listen, he's just been working with me in life. He's just on my back, and I do anything for him. So it pretty much started off with just to get off the couch. So I was like, what you want me to do? He said, man, we got to write our story, tell our history, but not in a way to glorify, in a way to teach these brothers so they don't follow our footsteps, if it makes sense. One thing about me, when I had these conversations and these interviews, I let them know specifically, do not refer to us as a gang. That's the problem. America see a group of people hanging in front of Ovo's house, and all of a sudden we're gang. So when I tell these interviews, I tell our stories, and I don't lie, and I tell the truth. We're not a gang. It was a bunch of cousins that went through hell, and now we're trying to make some changes. So with these two books, that's pretty much it. I'm bringing you into the brief transactions I had with Junior. Our relationship was brief. He died when he was 16 years old. So I started with Junior. He's Haitian, but in the book, I refer to him as Creole. That's just privacy reasons. That's my Haitian brother. I miss him. My son's middle name is named after Junior. That's how much he meant to me and meant to all the fellas. The second book is about my cousin Stash. And Stash, you either love or hate him. But like I said, the stuff we was going through, no kids should go through it, if it makes sense. So that brings you into the history of the Cape Verdean history in Dorchester. I open up a little more on the second book because I found a unique way to tell our story just from our point of view without disrespecting anybody. There was a lot of harm done, and we're just trying to repair some of that, if it makes sense. So that's what I do with these two books. And I write these books because my little brother likes to get messages out there. So both of the books, there's a message on each book from my little brother, Powerful. One is about his case, and the second one is what Tudo Junto means to him. So those is just my way of dreaming for my little brother.
Thank you for sharing that. You mentioned something about story and stories. Tell us a little bit more about your stories. Can you please dig deep into your story? I would love to hear this interesting interview that we're having so far. I want to dig deep into this story. Tell us the nitty gritty here, please.
So again, like my brother Powerful said, I came from Cape Verde. I was born there, but I came very young. I came on my mother's lap, so I was 5 months. My sister corrects me every time I say 3 months, so I know she's watching. So I came when I was 5 months, and the story we're referring to is the story that came out this year on the Boston Magazine and on the Boston Globe. It's about the back and forth of the Cape Verdean history of 30 years from my family's point of view. I basically wanted to tell them what we was facing back then. The reality was nobody's outside today, in the sense The kids don't play outside like they used to. Like when we was younger, we would always be outside. We would stay outside till the lights came on. That's when we knew it was time to go home. So in doing that, our parents didn't know. Unfortunately, me and my brother's families, we moved into a neighborhood that was going through a rough time, if it makes sense. In the beginning, and initially had nothing to do with either of us. And we just got caught up in it, if it makes sense. Boston is known for side streets. And in those side streets is a bunch of family members that just click up. I don't refer to Criollos as gang members because a lot of them don't even sell drugs. And they don't even do the BS, if it makes sense. They just out there protecting their families. It's trauma chasing trauma. So we moved to that neighborhood in 94. My little brother, Powerful, moved in a few years after when he came from CV. And then there was a back and forth that we endured. And we would simply say it was hell. It was tragic. I lost a bunch of cousins. I lost 2 brothers. And it was a lot. So our history is the reason why we're only speaking up in our community so we can make some changes. We're trying to let brothers know that, listen, things happen. We didn't really have no one we can run to back in the days. We want to be the people that they come to now, if that makes sense. We want to be mentors in our community, and we want to let kids know there's other things to do out here instead of, setting your family up for failure by going to funerals and stuff like that.
Yeah, man. To grow up and to watch you guys as I was growing up, to see where you guys like mentally are right now, I think is exactly what the community kind of needed, because we kind of need somebody to be the one to be like, all right, well, things got to kind of change. We got to do things differently. And a lot of us do look to that. And a lot of us do need that to kind of remind us for, a lot of our decision making. So I appreciate all the positive stuff going on and stuff, especially after all the years of chaos and everything in the community. So
Quick question for BUMBYA. I pronounced it correctly, right?
Yeah, he getting it.
Yeah, I'll get it good.
BUMBYA.
BUMBYA. So what's the most favorite part of your book? I know when you're writing a book over the years, sometimes you write something, you erase it, you write something, you erase it, and you edit this, edit that. But what part of the book hits home? What part of that book hits home?
So for the first book, the part where I write about my father and the incident, I don't want to give it up, that incident. So I find unique ways to bring you into what I endured. So I'll mix the names up, but those are really stuff I went through. Like in the book, there was a moment where Junior was acting up and his father pretty much wanted to speak to him. But in that conversation, Junior understood the hidden message. Like his father was trying to tell him, listen, you got to do better. You need to do better. But it's like, it reminded me of a moment when when I dropped out of high school, and my father was just, he was just like disappointed in everything. And he was trying to tell me, yo, I need to do better. But in that conversation, I realized that my father really didn't have a plan. In the sense, he was struggling to figure it out too. America was new to him too. So that I actually cried when I put that in the book. And obviously the tragedy is those experiences, the situation when I got shot. And my little brother, Powerful, and my other brother, Steve, he'll kill me for saying Steve, but we call him Nugget, out of B-Town Slam in Boston. And it was just when they was holding me. I remember that well. That's like it's like a nightmare that just, it's a recurring nightmare. I try not to speak about it because the stuff we was going through was real for us. We was kids pretending to be men. We act like we had it all figured out. But when I was laying there dying, to see my 2 brothers looking at me the way they was looking at me, it was killing me. So that really hits home. So those 2 parts for Junior, it really hits home. And again, for Stash, this part's there too, because for Stash, I really just decided to open up. I really kind of describe how the back and forth started. Because if you know, you'll put it together, and eventually you'll realize who the characters are. Even I'm in both books. Even though I'm not Junior or Stash, I'm in both books. I'm a character in both books, and I just bring you guys into our lifestyle of what a 15, 16-year-old was facing. So it's just, I couldn't go to my parents. Powerful couldn't go to his parents. How could he go to his hardworking mother to explain the hell we're going through? She doesn't even understand, she wouldn't at that point, the Criollos didn't understand what we was facing. Criollos was busy trying to buy houses and properties and try to make a name for themselves in the city. And the whole time we was cousins running around killing each other.
So
if we can pin the link
Yeah.
to the books,
I will.
so people can maybe get a chance to go on Amazon
Yes.
and check it out.
I'll do it in a second, but I want BUMBYA to elaborate on what he was talking about, the parents building a legacy for their.
You have 1 minute left.
Oh yeah, I almost completely forgot about Powerful. He's still there.
All right, so I want you to elaborate on the parents and them trying to leave a legacy for their kids in the community, and at the same time, when they focused on building their legacy, working, buying houses,
The caller has hung up.
making a landmark in the community for their kids. They're doing all this for the kids. How should I say it? What was the turning point when the parents lost their kids? Many parents, many of us grew up in the neighborhood. Many of us didn't make it. Many of us did make it. Many of us somewhat didn't make it and came back to life and made something better of themselves. My question to you is, what was the turning point when the parents lost their kids? And how do we tackle this issue here where immigrants come in to a country and trying to make a legacy, working hard, trying to get the American dream, and at the same time keeping the kids at bay, raising their kids? It's a juggle. Can you talk about this a little bit more?
So I know the reason why we struggled is because we didn't have nobody that can be the point person between the families. So in Dorchester, there's a big Cape Verde populations. I refer to them as like 6 families, if it makes sense. Those are the 6 major side streets and stuff like that. So back then there was no real point person like I would like to say there is today, and that's what we're actually trying to create. Meaning, a lot of these stuffs can be dealt with a simple conversation. It's just that simple. It can be a conversation. Even when I got to meet Mario and we started opening up about our family history, we realized we're cousins, right? So this whole time I'm going after his brother, his brother's coming after me. I wasn't aware that we was family. That's me being brutally honest. I don't go after family. I protect family. So learning that, I just recently learned that we are cousins. So it's like even that hits different now. So we really had nobody that could be like, yo, let's put these 2 guys together and just figure it out, because we're passionate, and I like to tell people, I don't think Criollos are like violent necessarily. Yes, that's what you see. Everybody's capable of violence, but it's the love and trauma that fuels it. We are all hurting out here. We are chasing each other because we lost one cousin, and now one cousin will lead to another cousin. It's a cycle that's never ended. We had no one that can really, could y'all come together? It was always after the fact. Like I had an older cousin that came to me and was like, I didn't even know you guys was into it. I know those guys. I got real relationships with them. It was a phone call. And I simply told my older cousin, I'm not going to say his name. That's the only guy I really look up to, ever since I lost my big brother. Till this day, he reaches out to me and we kick it. That's my older cousin from my father's side. And with him, I kind of I got the game from him. I kind of move like him. He's a stand-up guy. So to me, when he was having that conversation with me, he was just like, it was just a phone call. And I briefly told him, I'm all about resolution. You know, I'm not a bully or nothing like that. I know the feeling of being bullied and stuff. So I never carried it that way. Even though I was running around when I was younger, I'm 6 feet, 240 pounds. No, you know, so I was having my way, if that makes sense. I wasn't running from nobody. I was violent. But I was violent because I was a teenager that was hurting. You know, I had nobody to come tell me, listen, it's trauma, you know?
So
Right.
I'm sorry. This is very intense, and we're having an interesting conversation here. But let's talk about the parents and how could they have done better, Milton. Let's talk about the parents because they played a role in all this as well.
So, like, in a sense, what do you mean? Like, what do you want me to specifically say?
So the previous question I asked you was about, you know, the parents came here with the American dream, building a legacy, and they lacked a lot of the parents. I'm not singling out any one particular parent, but a lot of the parents, they basically focused their attention on building the American dream, and they weren't focusing on their kids. So, what do you think is the solution to that? And what was the tip of the iceberg in that situation?
So, for my family, they just wasn't aware initially.
Yes.
So they just thought, here goes, you know, Louisiana's kids being bad. So, but they wasn't aware of how many times we was being targeted just for being on that street.
Yes.
So, Criollos, a lot of them just got multiple jobs. Like, yo, I don't know how it is back home, and I don't know those initial struggles. But when those initial wave of Criollos first came here, they all had jobs. They was all hardworking citizens. Like, they wasn't playing no games. So they just didn't understand America. You get it? It's as simple as that. Meaning, my father couldn't tell me about these side streets like I can tell my son about these side streets. My father didn't see those signs because he didn't operate in America how I operate in America. So for me, I can just be around my son or my cousins, my nieces and nephews, and I can see what's going on. Our parents wasn't aware we was playing with guns. They wasn't.
Yeah.
My father had no idea of the arsenal we kept in that house. None whatsoever. You get it? Like my little brother even said it one time. He came to me and he goes, listen, I need you to sign this permission slip, because I used to forge my father's signature well. That's one thing I did really, really good. I want to be like my dad, you know, that's my hero. So I wanted to forge his signature. So but we didn't realize that my little brother Alex had seen that gun the way he seen it until he grew up, and then he goes, you know, watching you and your brother, you know, I refer to him as my twin. He said, watching you guys come up, we kind of led him into this lifestyle, if it makes sense. And in that letter he wrote to me and my brother, when my brother came to me, he said, before you read this letter, just get ready. You know, I already knew what he meant. It was just, my little brother was telling us of the influence we had on him. And he said, I had never seen a gun that big, but he didn't understand the war we was facing, if it makes sense.
Yes. Someone tried to call into the show. Try calling again. I didn't want to interrupt Amilton while he was talking, so try calling again. If anyone wants to call in the show, 339-235-6774. Tony, you've been very silent.
I have. I mean, I've been flabbergasted since you know, the first call. Like I'm still like, but I'm listening, I'm taking it all in. This is actually like things that I've, you know, I don't know if anybody knows that's watching, but I grew up on Hamilton Street and I was there firsthand watching it as a child, you know, with them telling me to get in the house, and I knew it was, you know, but just hearing all this from people that you grew up and you used to see, to now how they've evolved from that lifestyle to this one, and to know that like that's what we all should be on the path of. It's like I'm listening. It's great. Like I'm learning. I'm listening.
So, Amilton, which chapter is your favorite in the book of Young Outlaws? What's your favorite chapter and why?
I would like to say, I'll just tell you the favorite part of Junior is the end. It's like the ending, not the transition to, because each book transitions to the next one. Not the transition part of Stash. Basically, the ending of Junior, the car ride to the hospital. It's my favorite because I'm bringing you in to that lifestyle. It's just kids, because that's really how it is. It's just kids running around having fun. They don't know of the dangers that's around. So I wrote it in a way that they're just getting ready to go to a party. And in Boston, back in the day, they still do it now. You rep your hood by wearing your fitted caps. So in the book, our first fitted caps that we wore was the Sox fitted caps. A lot of people don't know the history like that. It was the Sox, the White Sox fitted caps for Dakota Street. That's the only time I would say that's when we inspire to be gang members, if it makes sense. So in that part, I wrote how they just going out to have fun, and the simple wrong turn, wrong timing type of scenario, the tragedy happened, and I open up because that was really me on the floor. You get it? That's really how I was feeling when I was on the floor, pretending that I was okay to my brothers. Because the whole time they just looking at me and I'm staying calm. But I knew it was bad. I thought I was gonna die that day. I just was just like, you know what? As you know, corny and stupid as it sounds, I was like, I'm gonna fake it. You know, I'm gonna pretend for these men, because seeing them is just, that's one thing I can't forget that day. I can't. I broke a lot of hearts that day. To see my father's reaction, that still brings me to tears, you know, to see him the way he was. So I really put those feelings in Junior's part, because I want a kid that's thinking, hey, there's nothing wrong with partying or harmless fun. No, you always got to stay on your P's and Q's. You always got to be on point, especially in the city. And you just got to be aware of your surroundings, because it can change just like that. And before you know it, you disappointed your vovo, you disappointed your moms, you disappointed your, the guy you're going to be just like your father.
Hold on, we have a call.
We have a caller calling in. All right.
Hold on.
We got a caller.
Hello, caller on the line. Thank you for calling the Outlaws. Hello?
Yep, Hamilton.
Yes, sir. Who's this speaking?
Okay, so tell the brother Milton
Yes.
I said hi.
Can you hear us, Amilton?
I can hear him. I know exactly who it is.
He said he knows exactly. Hey, Milton.
What's good, my brother?
I'm proud of you, man. I'm proud of what y'all doing. I'm proud of what P-Dub's doing. I was a part of that over there with Big Johnson. And you know you got my full support. But I would like to say I've been talking a lot in the neighborhood with my peers about some of the transference of wealth that's going to happen, because we've all become adults. Our parents now are pushing 60, 70, 80. So we're going to inherit a lot. We got a lot of good stuff, right? We own a lot of houses on Columbia Road, Bowdoin, Hancock, Dudley, all these territories. We have a lot of property, a lot of legacy and stuff. So I want to know what you think about when we can start living again, doing business together, partying, playing some Morin and some Bisca and stuff like that. When do you foresee us being able to do that?
So, listen, right? I'm gonna tell you, I can't go into details about what's coming, because I like to be strategic, and until I get everything locked down. But you'll feel it hopefully sometime next year. So what I do is I'm aware of who my community leaders are. So I have private conversations. I've been having private conversations. There's something really big that we're trying to do for the city. I don't even think, the guy in the mayor's office. I told him, I was like, he just reached out to me. My guy Isaac out of the mayor's office. He simply told me, listen, man, we still got more work to do. And I said, I haven't stopped working. I've been having private meetings with influential members in our community and what we want to do for the city. So be on the lookout for that. Mario will be aware soon because he doesn't even know. I'm about to text him and plan him in on this meeting. There's a big meeting we're planning the end of December with a bunch of community leaders, and we're eyeing. We got a tentative date of next year, and this one's going to be big. And this one's not just for Cape Verdeans. We did the block parties. I felt that was a great sign of moving forward because whether we want to admit it or not, a lot of us are displaced. A lot of us don't even have family where we grew up at, if it makes sense. If my father decided to sell his house, that whole Bowden Street area, that whole thing's gone, if you understand what I'm trying to say. So it's close. I just wish I could say more. Like this, when I'm ready to speak on what we have been planning, I think everybody's gonna be impressed. I think everybody's gonna feel like things are changing. Because one thing about Boston that we should change is the culture about us not supporting each other. So, but before we think we can just be outside, we need to have conversations. We've done a lot of harm to each other. We just need to be in the right mindset to sit down and go, what's next? How can we help each other move forward? Like Azara said, we don't have to sit at the same table, but we can be at the same party.
It's deep. Junior, you have anything else to say? Because this is intense. Intense.
I just want to say this. I like what you said, but I just want to remind everybody, we got Cesaria, we got Top Mix, we got St. Patrick's, we got St. Peter's, we got parks all over the place. And these places belong to us, man, and we need to embrace it. The OGs need to make sure they hold their young ones back. And we need to take some leadership, man, from where you're at right now. That mindset you're talking about needs to start ruling. If there's going to be a king, the king should be thinking like what you're talking about now. And I'd like to say thank you for what you're doing in the community.
Absolutely. It's coming. It's a bunch of us. Again, like I said, I'm always shouting out my boy Mario. I would like to shout out the other ones, but we're not there yet. When I say we, them. Like I told Mario, I'm not playing no games. I just want to be part of the solution, especially in my community. That's it. I want to leave a legacy. I have kids. I want them to turn around and be like, especially what we're trying to do next. I want them to be like, my father was a part of that. So I don't play no games. We don't know. Our time can be up just like that. Yes. I faced death multiple times. I know how quick it can go. Yes. So I'm very intentional out here. I'm going to continue having these deliberate conversations, and we're going to try to heal our community as best we can. Not everybody's ready for it right now, but that's okay. Because if I can change, we'll be ready for them when they're ready, if that makes sense.
Quick question, Amilton. We talk about culture, community change, leadership, mentorship. What are good strategies to that we should use to fix this problem that we're having in the community? A lot of people don't like to talk about this, but
you got another caller?
Yeah, another caller. Hold on.
Hold on.
Hold that thought. Hold on. Let's take this caller. Caller, you're on Outsiders. Hello?
What up? What up? What up?
Hey, identify yourself. What's your name?
They are checking in. I like to give a shout out to Tony. What up, baby?
Yeah, what's good, bro? That's my dog JR. Hey, yo, Milt, you know how you had a best friend, Junior? He's Haitian. Yeah. That's my dog JR. He's Haitian.
See, yo, something about Haitians and Creoles. I don't know why. We just get along. I love my Haitian community.
Hey, appreciate you, bro. You know that.
Well, but now I'd like to give a that I respect what y'all doing. You feel me?
Appreciate
Definitely a good book. I ain't got my copy yet, but I salute.
Yeah, yo, we're gonna put the link to the book, and for everybody, you guys can go on Amazon, get the book. Yo, it's an amazing book, both of them. Both of them are good books. I read the first one twice, and I read the second one once. But yeah, I gave the second one to my little brother. He didn't want to give it back. But yo, y'all gotta check the book out. The book, both of them.
I did okay. Like, listen, if we're gonna be brutally honest, I didn't think I was gonna do that good, but the feedback was so incredible that I'm like, oh, so I have to continue. So
yeah, it's one of those books where when you read it, it's like you're the person that you're reading. Like you're like that point of view is like you become it when you're reading the book. It's like, you know, when you read hood books and it's all you have and you're reading something to get like some type of, that's that type of book. That the first one.
I wanted you to feel like you was in that car ride, if it makes sense.
I'm telling you, bro, it's a good book. Both of them.
That's all. When you can relate, but when it's real, you can relate. It's a different story.
Facts. But yo, appreciate you calling in, bro. You know that. Yeah.
All right.
You already, bro. We gonna link up.
Hey, Milton. He was at the block party too. JR, I brought him to the block party when we had the block party.
Yeah. Now that block party was turned too.
Yeah, we had a good time. We need a part 2.
No, it's coming. Like I said, we didn't have all the families committed on time. It was a schedule issue, if it makes sense. So, you know, next year though, most of us are gonna be outside.
Come to the block party when we do it on Hamilton next time. The streets after your name, you gotta come.
Well, I would love an invitation. I'll be there. I like to go to these things. So
it was nice.
Yeah.
So we make Kachupa.
Kachupathon. Next year, Kachupathon.
But Amilton, I'm sorry to sidetrack. We got sidetracked there. But
all right, guys.
Yo, bro, I didn't know you was on the phone still. Yo, be easy. You know that.
All right.
You already.
Talk to you soon. All right. Thank you. Amilton, so back to what we were talking about. We have another caller.
Somebody,
hold on.
Yo, everybody calling everybody.
Hold on.
Feel me?
The Outsiders Podcast. How can I help you?
Hey, what's up, Hamilton?
How you doing?
Milton, it's Mario.
Mario, how you doing?
What's going on, bro?
Yo, it's been a long time.
Yes.
No, I was listening to the interview, and it just happened by coincidence. I'm here at the cemetery.
Yes.
And just looking at all the great sites, going from one site to another.
Mm-hmm.
And today's one of my brother's birthday while I'm here.
Rest in peace.
So this is just kind of, I guess, God, man.
Yeah.
But just shout out to y'all. That's all.
Shout out to you too, bro. You're a key part of this.
Yeah.
You're working hard.
All right. I'll let y'all go, and I'm tuning in.
All right, brother. Keep the faith, okay?
All right.
Thank you for calling. All right. Hopefully you don't get interrupted again, but that was Mario, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that's Mario Milt.
Yeah.
Okay. So look, I'm trying to what was the question? Okay. So we talk about culture, we talk about community, talk about mentorship. We're talking about some serious topics here. But what we haven't talked about yet are solutions. What are some solutions in your opinion, Milton? You've been writing books in your lifetime. I'm still working on mine. So you're like 20 steps ahead of me with the book writing situation. So you must have some solutions in plan for the community and for the general population of people that are struggling right now in this world with respects to urban area issues. So can we talk about solutions at the moment? Are you ready for that?
Yeah. So I guess I could tell you what I'm trying to do. So we do workshops. I do workshops out of Beantown Slam. My brother is based out of Dorchester, And so what we do is we do like healing circles. We'll sit with these kids and we just make them aware of the reality of what this is. The rappers, they just pretending. It's like just think of rappers like actors. It's all fake. It's not real. They're not living that lifestyle, and just take it as entertainment. Once you realize that, you'll see it for what it is. That, in a sense, I refer to sometimes. That's how the biggest poisons we consume is literally the entertainment industry. By design, they influence us to do what we do, whether we realize it or not. So the solutions that we try to implement is just basically storytelling, in the sense of we opening up. Like a lot of these kids are just curious too. A lot of these kids are young and impressionable. So it's like, oh yeah, nah, I think this is what I want to do. So the reality is, this is why I like talking to the teenagers, the young ones, the ones that we know it's the 13-year-olds, the 14 and 15s. Those are the ages that usually that's when they transition into the street life, if it makes sense. So especially the ones that really are for it, they get off the porch that early. So and when I say get off the porch, that means that they start getting active. They're playing with guns, probably even selling drugs. So what we try to do is bring them into the lives that we live, and I don't sugarcoat it. I keep it to them real. I'm like, let me tell you how serious this is. If I knew that I was gonna lose one person behind this back and forth, I would have never picked up a gun. If I knew I was gonna bury my big brother, I would have never picked up a gun. If I knew I was gonna bury my little brother, I would have never picked up a gun. So what makes you think you're gonna solve all these problems by picking up a gun? So before you just go take the extreme route, talk to me. I'll be your brother. You get it? That's all it is. Sometimes these kids just need someone to reach out to. I'll give you an example. My nephew is in this program. So, and I do stuff for free. Like, yes, the community will allocate funds. They'll help you if this is the work you want to do. But I like to really, in order for me to take some money, I'm taking from my brother's program. So instead, I go keep that in the program. I'll come help for free, help these kids. So in the sense of me doing that, we're able to help my nephews, right? So the last workshop I did there, I invited my brother who just recently came home from Quan. I invited him over there. He did a workshop with the kids, and he basically teaching them about learning their real smoke and how sometimes we are systematically being oppressed without us even realizing it. So it's about educating these kids with what we're really facing and letting them know it's really not a game. And I'll occasionally have my brother call and let them feel that too, because he's been in there for 23 years. So when I did the workshop, when I did the workshop with Fu, my nephew, even though he knows he can come to me, he can go to his father, sometimes that's just the problem. We don't want to go to home. Because it's just for whatever reason. So when my nephew did that day, I pulled him to the side and I told him I'm happy, because he pulled Fu to the side and was like, can we talk? Meaning when he's going through his mental battles, can he reach out to Fu and Fu give him game on how to deal with those thoughts? So when I seen that, my nephew do that, I walked with him. He walked me to the car. I gave him a hug. I was like, I love you, nephew. Respect that, man. Whatever you need. And I know that I got you. You know your father got you. But for whatever reason, you just can't communicate with us right now. So whatever you need, ask that brother. He got you. You get it? So these kids just need someone to talk to. And sometimes we just got to let them know it's going to be okay. I've never had no one to come in like it's going to be okay. Never. So, work.
If I could touch base on that, right? Programs like, like you said, Nuggets, Beantown Slam. These
Mario got a program too, MBK. Like that's what they do.
Yeah. And it's like all these programs are so important, because when I was growing up, and like we were talking about our parents, never home because they had to work, because they were trying to do this and we wasn't getting it, and we was outside doing everything. Programs like DYC, with Emmett. Emmett's like a second father to me growing up in the city, because when my father couldn't be there for me, people like Emmett and DYC is why I stayed out of trouble, because I had somewhere to go after school. But as soon as I aged out is when my problem started, because I had nowhere to go, on top of not having the guidance, because my parents were working hard and doing what they were supposed to do, is hold down the household, make money, like all Cape Verdeans do when they come here. Because a lot of Cape Verdeans, when they come here, they come with the mindset of like owning their homes. So when we say, "Oh, I'm from this street," it's not because we're from a gang. It's because my mother owns a house there. His mother owns a house there. My mother owns a house there. So we all grow up there. Our parents are at work. We're at home, where our parents own the house. So this is where we grew up. But it could be misconstrued and later can be taken out of context, and as we go, and it could, but all the positive stuff that's coming out of it after is what I love to see, because like I'm 37, like I was like my life is going so fast, like I feel like I can't. I'm like, I wake up sometimes, I'm like, I'm 37 already. So I can only try to live as long as I can from here on out. I don't want to be a part of anything destructive. I just want to see positivity for all of us, because it's kind of what our parents expected when they was out here working hard and we wasn't doing the right thing. They expected us to be what we're trying to do right now. But as a kid, we didn't know that.
Yes.
And now that we are understanding it, so for some of us, it's too late. But for some of us, like Milton, that can go out and help the community, so it doesn't have to be too late for somebody else. That's everything.
I have a question, Amilton. You talked about systematic oppression. Sometimes we all get. It's easy for us to say, let's not take the victim mentality, which is a good thing to do. Don't be a victim and fix your situation. But can you elaborate on the systematic oppression and how it works and how it contributes to what went on during your time, your trials and tribulations, and others that are coming up today? And how do we not so much, well, I should say, combat the systematic oppression? What are ways around the systematic oppression? How do we go about fixing the systematic situation?
So that's a difficult question for me to ask, because I'll be brutally honest. That's something I'm still learning about today. I'm learning about it through my brothers and sisters. Like I said, as you do this community work, you start to understand the level of how they play with you, if it makes sense. I got professor friends now. They teach Afro studies. Shout out to Keith out of UMass Boston. So I'm just learning. He knows more about those islands than I do. And he's Puerto Rican and Irish, I think. Hopefully I didn't mess that up. So so I'm just learning more about those early days and back in those islands, and as I have interviews, I learned stuff and how we was targeted. I can tell you that they treated Creoles different, just because we was purely violent. That was a private conversation I had with someone from the city, and he broke it down to me. He was like, Creoles was the first race to ever get hit with the RICO without crossing state lines. He was like, they only did that because they couldn't deal with y'all. They didn't know how to deal with y'all. So, that they unfairly targeted Creoles. They labeled all of us gangs, not realizing, there's 30, 40 of us, because Creoles love babies. You get it? That's one thing about us. We love making babies. And I got a bunch of first cousins.
Big fan.
Like I told them, when my grandmother died at the age of 84, there was 125 grandbabies. Okay, and that was 11 years ago. And even my uncle has a baby younger than me. So now the cousins tree is just we're probably closer to 200 right now, if it makes sense. So that was just it. I mean, America just didn't understand it. Like Creoles, who are them? Like, even our neighbors didn't understand us initially. The Pretos didn't accept us because we was too light skinned. Probably some of us have great hair. So
I talk about this all the time, Milton.
In the beginning, I can tell you in the beginning, like I had Pretos tell me, like Pretos obviously black American. They would tell me, listen, You don't look like us. You can't say you're us if it makes sense. I'm like, I was born in Africa though, so I know I ain't white, so either branco or preto in our eyes, and that's really how it is. So
That's a
I'm just
difficult thing. That's a very difficult thing because that's that divide and conquer situation.
mentality. Yep.
That's another caller.
We got another
Yo,
caller.
the callers is calling in today, boy.
Hold on a second. Man. Welcome to the Outsiders.
What's up, guys?
How you doing? Who is this?
It's Domingos.
Domingos, how you doing?
Yes, sir. It's good,
I'm
Domingos.
great, man. It's good to hear you guys talk about this real situation and how we can all improve our current situation.
Mm-hmm. All right.
To listen to some of the things that are being said, not only by you guys on the show, but folks calling in
Mm-hmm.
and sharing their opinion on a conversation that's been hidden, in a sense, from our door-to-doors.
Mm.
As someone who's been in the trenches for the last 48 years and watched 3 generations of Cape Verdeans turn into what we are today. We went from a group of people that showed up to church every Sunday, 100 deeps, spending 4th and 5th of July at Villa Raza. For folks that remember that, from having a community center
Yes.
to being displaced within our own community. So it's something that a lot of the conversation has been kept from the real individuals who can make the impact.
Mm-hmm.
Because a lot of our adults who should have been the ones to address this when we were young were too busy worrying about their own, the briganya within the community, that they left us to fend for ourselves. And this is one of the reasons why we've lost so many between, from here all the way down to the Cape. It's not just a Boston issue. When folks got up in the mid-90s and took off, went to Randolph, Stoughton, Brockton, and so forth, guys like me were stuck here trying to figure out which was the best way not to get involved while being involved. And it's a great appreciation to the fact that young people today don't classify themselves in a lot of the situations that we were put into. Some of these young kids are one step ahead of us, but the issue is when they go back to school, the education process is not giving them the other tools they need to succeed. 32% of our high school students are at reading level. Every single Cape Verdean kid that comes off the plane in Logan is put into 2 to 3 schools within our community. One is the Holland, the Murphy. It's saturated with Cape Verdeans, and a lot of the conversations in that school is not being geared towards the kids. And folks are not speaking on those issues. The Dearborn School is another school that's saturated with predominantly Cape Verdean kids. And we're removing bilingual programs out of our schools. Same with Orchard Garden K through 8. So the reason why I'm calling in is to make sure that folks keep their foot on their necks. Enter places that they don't expect you to show up. Speak on things that matter to you and stay true to yourself. Because at the end of all this, there'll be another generation that would have to go through the same trial and tribulation with or without the support. And the great thing is, folks for our generation are seeing what we're trying to do as a city, and hopefully that will transcend into our households, because this newer generation who's coming behind us the glorification of what is why the circle continues to spin.
Mingo, question for you, brother. Is it a bad thing like when they put kids of the same culture in one school, and there's a bunch of them? Is that a good thing or is that a bad thing because it doesn't allow them to assimilate to like the American way?
Well, what it does is it hinders us from having growth. So we have a lot of these young Cape Verdeans, 13, 14, who are watching everything online and they're mimicking what they're seeing. Yeah. They're not being taught from a culture. They're only being taught from a classroom.
Yeah.
And we need to be in those classrooms to give these kids the additional support. I worked out at the Marshall, and I watched that every single class that came in with majority Cape Verdean kids. They didn't have a Cape Verdean speaking teacher. They were put in classrooms where they couldn't succeed.
Yeah.
Same at Madison. We had hundreds of Cape Verdean kids come through the school system, and the bilingual program that Mr. Gonsalves and Mr. Duarte and all these great Cape Verdean educators were a part of were able to give these kids culture on top of education. And that's not what happened in BPS. So they're not looking to expand the education for our community. They're trying to put us all in one box and say, hey, take what we give you. And that's what it is.
That's deep, man. That's
well, if you look at it, the generation before mine, guys that came in the 70s and the mid 80s who went to Madison, they're all successful plumbers, engineers, electricians, and so forth.
Yeah.
We skip a year or two. I go to Madison. Hamilton goes to Madison. 9 out of 10 of our classmates wind up in the system who are Cape Verdeans.
They took out all the vocational programs so that they don't give you not everybody is made for college. Some people are made for trade. So taking that out of the community, it's like my mother said.
It's there, but culturally, when you go to Cape Verde, there's only a handful of electricians. There's only a handful of plumbers. So when the kids come from CV to here, that's not in their mindset.
Yeah.
That they can go into the middle class by working into these construction trades. So that's why programs like Mario's MBK is important to bring in not only the Cape Verdean population, but every single population, so these young kids can see the value in themselves. And, as early as 1992, when I started coaching, I've always put value in young people because I knew the value in myself, because I knew my culture. I grew up under guys like Junior, Dindin, Shaduka, these guys that gave themselves a position within the community because they were able to maneuver between the two.
So
I appreciate y'all call. Y'all have a great show.
Appreciate you.
Appreciate you, my brother.
All right.
Hey, this is the
listen, for the record, Mingos is the only man in this world that can say he was able to get me in the Speedo.
He used to be a lifeguard at the Mason School, and
he had a bunch of Cape Verdeans into the swimming before the stuff started going bad. A lot of us was in the swimming team and stuff like that. Domingos was one of those for us initially. That he was a mentor that we would be able to run to. Mingos didn't say it, but hopefully you don't get mad. Mingos almost lost his life one night, making sure that we got home at night. So a lot of people don't understand me and Mingos' relationship.
Yeah.
I've always had love for him since that day. So it was just, we was all swimming at the school over there at the Marshall, and then some group of kids just wanted to bother us for whatever reason. And Mingos just stood up for us, for me and some of my cousins and some of the smaller kids. We was just, again, like I said, they didn't understand Criollos in the beginning. So we was just walking down the streets. We wasn't trying to bother nobody. We just finished swimming. And here's Mingo just getting jumped. They blacked both of his eyes and stuff like that. He just wanted to make sure we was getting home safe. I wasn't even playing into the street life or none of that. If I was, I would have doubled back on those kids because of how bad they did that to Mingos. But Mingos, he's always been a brother for me from ever since that day. And I told him that privately, and I've actually had private conversations, because in order for me to really be intentional out here, I had to fix harms I did in my household first, and then go to individuals that I personally had relationships and open up and let them know. So I told Mingos in private, I apologize for any harm I brought to his family, or et cetera, et cetera. And we had great conversations, and he even came out to the block party in support. So, I got nothing but good things to say about that, man. I got no issues with Mingos, and I appreciate him.
Yes. Domingos, indeed. And we went to high school together, me and Domingos. And
so he wasn't able to get you in the Speedo yet, huh?
No. I'm the one that got him into swimming at the Mason School years ago. I'm just joking. He taught me how to swim. So,
I learned how to swim at the John F. Condon in South Boston. That's my elementary school. It was crazy because when I went there,
I'm still online. You want to call it? You want to say a few more words?
From Cape Verde, and half of the rest was from here. So they put us in a project to kind of like, and within a year, all the kids that came from Cape Verde knew English.
Yeah.
So it kind of worked. Them mixing the two.
Yeah.
Speaking of school.
So you want to put someone on, Amilton?
No, that's my little brother. He said he'll call me back. He calls me a bunch of times.
Okay. So Amilton, so is there anything in particular you want to share before we wrap this up in the next 10-15 minutes? Anything you want to put out there about yourself? Anything you want to describe? Anything that's bothering you right now? Anything that you want the public to know about you? The good side, the good Amilton, the Amilton that turned his life around and made him the 2-book writer Amilton. Let's lay it on the table. Let people know who the real Amilton is.
So I don't like to talk about myself that much like that, but I guess I'll just say I'm just a person that's going to be intentional. I might ruffle some feathers, but my intentions are pure. I want to make connections throughout the city with the community leaders and change the culture of Boston. No, we don't support each other. That's the number one issue. So for me, I just want to be at service to whoever needs someone like me to talk to the youth, right? And what I really want to say is I want everybody to stay on the lookout for what we have planned next. Like I said, we got private meetings. The most I did, like I even told Mario, listen, I'm going to need you. He's like, oh, it's something like, because me and Mario, we still do stuff every year. Like he got his toy drive coming up. I'm going to host Bolden Street area again. But I'm like, no, there's something big that we're working on, and we're starting to get some traction, and it looks like it's really going to happen. So I guess I just want everybody to just stay tuned to my socials. We'll start promoting what it's going to be big, especially when we pull it off. When we pull it off, there's no ifs. We're just trying to uplift our community. I'm just an individual that's out here fighting for my Cape Verdean community. That's it. I understand the harm and the role I played in it, and I just want to save the ones that are coming up behind us. That's it. That's really all I do. I'm out here being intentional. Like I told a cop friend, because I be making cop friends now. It's weird. I told him I have no oppositions, if it makes sense. I'm just out here trying to save lives. The only oppositions I have is my daughter's Cash App or a wet surface because I walk with a cane. That's it. Besides that, I don't have issues with nobody. Everything with me is a conversation. And you'll know it. You'll know I'm intentional. I don't play games with nobody. And I'm aware we all have real feelings, and most of us would say that we've been through hell. So I play no games with those type of men. And I'm just trying to, my professor's friend said this word. So I'm trying to see how true it is. He goes, because mind you, I've only known him for about 2 years now, and he's gone to multiple events we've put together throughout the city. And he told me, he goes, Milton, your gift is you're an organizer of men. So I'm going to organize some men, and we're going to try to do something real big in the city next year. So I just want people to continue. This is the most I've ever spoken about my 2 books. I don't even promote my books like that. That's just stories for my community, for the ones that's aware of the back and forth of the Cape Verdean history. So thanks for letting me come on here and talk a little bit about that. Got me in my feelings with that. But I'm gonna continue to write, and I'm gonna continue to fight. I'm gonna continue to try to uplift these kids. And it's just, we don't do it just for Cape Verdeans either. My brother's workshops, most of those kids are Black, if it makes sense. There's some white and some Spanish. So we're just trying to stop the cycle. I definitely don't want nobody to go through what my family has went through. For a while there, the funerals was nonstop. It was just nonstop. So I guess any funeral that I can prevent, or we can prevent, any family we can help, that's just it. I just want to be of service, if that makes sense.
Yes.
And I really don't do it for me. Nothing is about me. It's about my family. My Arthur name is BUMBYA, my little brother. That's the nickname that was given to him by an uncle. Everything I do is for these men. When I run around, I'm gonna step down. I didn't tell nobody yet, but eventually I will. Another family member is gonna be the spokesperson. We haven't figured that one out for through the June moving forward. I just want people to be aware. I'm focusing more on BUMBYA. BUMBYA, the acronym is bringing up my Boston young adults. And that's what I want to do. I told the guy in City Hall, I said, I'm gonna die on this path. I found my form of therapy, and that's saving lives. So, yes. And Mingo's mentioned some of the schools, so I guess we could talk about it. That's some of the plans I have right now. I go to these schools and we have little workshops, and then we just tell these kids about, real life situations. I open up, tell them about my life and the do's and don'ts and what they should just strive for, in the sense of just chase your dreams and leave the BS to the side, if it makes sense. So I'm gonna continue just uplifting my community. That's it.
Thank you so much for being on the show, Hamilton. It was a pleasure to have you today. And before I wrap this up, I'm gonna ship it over to Tony, and I want you to tell me, Tony, your thoughts and opinions about this show before we finalize everything.
First and foremost, I want to say thanks for letting me kind of host today, sponsor the show. I knew it was going to be a good one. So next time, Milton, I got a copy of the book. I'm going to give one to Hamilton. You got to sign it for us next time.
I had listen, and roadside assistance just got here.
Damn, see, we would have
just got here.
How they are.
Yeah. So yeah, I left. I went out last night to celebrate my little brother's 10-year anniversary for his clothing line, Fijuville. It was he basically created that from a friend who committed suicide. A lot of people's not aware of it. So that's how he keeps his friend's name alive. And so Fiju, obviously, you know what it is, village. So it's like, where everybody's son, where everybody has a son in someone's village, if it makes sense. So just left the light on in the car. So I'm over there clicking like, well, I never heard that noise before. So man, I listen, when I make commitments, I like to be on time and stuff like that. Yeah. So I was disappointed that the car didn't start. So I'm still happy we was able to get this show.
Yes.
Yeah, it was still a good show, though.
That's all that matters. We got the show went on.
Yeah, the show went on. Man, listen, appreciate you guys. Milton, good looking out for coming on.
Yeah, I'm going to bring him his copies of his books, though. Don't worry. I got you.
I got a copy right here. And the link, you can go on Milton's socials and you'll find a link on your bio, right? They can just click on.
My IG, it's Milt. That's short for Milton. It's MILT_D196. That's my IG handle. And I got a bunch of links there. Or just BUMBYA on TikTok. Just the word BUMBYA, you'll find me. That's where I post most of my stuff I do in the community, all the videos and stuff like that, all the Boston Globe stuff, anything. If you want to catch up on that, just go on my TikTok, BUMBYA, and they have links on there as well.
All right.
Hamilton, like I said, thank you so much, man. It was a good show, man. Like I knew it was gonna be good, but everybody calling in, engaging, the stories, everybody putting in their 2 cents, man. It was definitely a nice, interactive.
Yes.
It was different from what I'm used to doing. You know, I usually just kind of talking. But yeah, I appreciate everybody calling in and everybody that's working towards a safer, better community for us and everybody that live around us. And hey, I appreciate everybody's love, man.
So the takeaway from this interview today with Amilton, everyone in the world has a past. The importance is, what do we do with our future? We come here to this world to live and do good and contribute to society, the betterment of society. And that's exactly what Milton's doing right now with the Young Outlaws book and the other, what's the name of the other book there?
All the titles are the same as Young Outlaw series. It's just changed from individuals. So the first one was Junior, second one Stash, the third one will be my big brother. That's next. That'll be Louis, and the last one will be Alex.
Yes.
But the title's Young Outlaws.
Okay. So make sure you guys buy his book on Amazon. And this is a prime example of what having a second chance at life is and contributing to the betterment of society. This is Hamilton Rodriguez with The Outsider. Stay tuned every Sunday with another interesting topic. But this was an interesting show, a very interesting show. I really appreciate you coming on, Amilton. And Tony Barboza.
Barboza gang.
And this is The Outsiders. Stay tuned for the next episode.